What if the Romans never fell? A journey through alternate history. Introduction. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD is considered one of the most pivotal events in human history. It marked the end of ancient Rome's dominance in the West and ushered in the Middle Ages, a period often characterized by political fragmentation, economic decline, and loss of classical knowledge in Europe. But what if this collapse never happened? What if Rome had endured the internal decay, external invasions, and economic crises that brought it down? In this speculative exploration, we journey through an alternate history where the Roman Empire not only survives, but thrives, shaping a radically different modern world. Chapter 1. The Turning Point. That never turned in our timeline, Rome faced a series of crises: barbarian invasions, economic inflation, military overreach, and political instability. To imagine a world in which the empire survives, we must first consider what changes might have occurred to stabilize it. Suppose Diocletian's reforms were more effective, or Constantine's efforts to solidify unity through Christianity were coupled with deeper administrative restructuring. Suppose key invasions, such as those by the Visigoths and Vandals, were repelled. If these events had played out differently, Rome might have fortified its borders, integrated barbarian tribes more effectively, and maintained internal cohesion. This resilience would mean the Western Roman Empire remains intact, working in tandem with the Eastern Byzantine Empire, possibly creating a long-term imperial alliance. Latin and Greek might continue as dominant administrative languages, and Rome's institutions would evolve rather than collapse. Chapter 2. A unified Western Eurasia. With Rome still the central authority across much of Europe, the idea of a fractured continent might never emerge. Instead of the patchwork of kingdoms and feudal states that arose after the empire's fall, we might see a more federated model. Provinces with local governance, but allegiance to a central Roman government. Trade routes like the Via Appia and Silk Road would remain protected by Roman legions, encouraging long-distance commerce and cultural exchange. Technological advancement might accelerate in such a stable environment. The Renaissance, sparked by the rediscovery of Roman and Greek knowledge, might occur centuries earlier. With Roman engineering continually improving infrastructure, major cities across Europe could become thriving urban centers centuries ahead of schedule. The Roman aqueduct, road, and sanitation systems would become the norm throughout the continent, even reaching deeper into the British Isles and Germania. Chapter 3. Religion and philosophy in a Roman world. In this alternate history, Christianity, sanctioned and shaped by a still strong Roman state, might evolve quite differently. Without the power vacuum that enabled the Catholic Church to become a dominant political force, religious power remains more centralized under the emperor. The schism between Eastern and Western Christianity might never occur, resulting in a more unified religious doctrine. At the same time, classical philosophy might not fade into obscurity. Roman schools, libraries, and institutions would preserve and expand upon the works of Aristotle, Plato, Cicero, and Seneca. This means that debates on governance, ethics, and metaphysics remain central to public discourse, possibly leading to earlier Enlightenment-style thinking. Chapter 4. Global exploration under the Eagle Standard. One of the most fascinating aspects of this alternate world is imagining Roman-led global exploration. If Rome survived and retained control of the Mediterranean, it could have developed ocean-faring vessels sooner. By the 10th or 11th century, Roman explorers might have crossed the Atlantic, centuries before Columbus, and encountered the Americas. Rather than being driven by the competitive national ambitions of Spain, Portugal, or England, this exploration might have been state-sanctioned under a central imperial authority. The consequences would be enormous. A Romanized New World where Latin-based languages dominate, with cities named Nova Roma and infrastructure built according to Roman engineering standards. Indigenous cultures might face a different form of integration, possibly more bureaucratic than purely religious or violent. Chapter 5. Science and technology. In a Roman world, stability encourages invention. In a world where Rome never falls, the preservation and advancement of scientific knowledge continue without the interruption of the Dark Ages. Roman interest in mechanics, astronomy, and medicine might lead to breakthroughs centuries earlier. Steam power, for instance, was understood in rudimentary form in ancient Alexandria. In our timeline, it took until the 18th century for steam engines to revolutionize industry. In a surviving Rome, these ideas might have matured far earlier. Lead.